Hello, my name is George Plimpton. Over the past 8 years, Greatest Sports Legends has profiled the most talented baseball players ever to play the game. Today, Pittsburgh Pirates star Willie Stargell is here to discuss the career of another superb baseball legend, an athlete who proved during his 17 years in the major leagues that he could hit, field, throw, and run with baseball's best. Please join Willie and me as we explore the colorful legend of Roberto Clemente. On January 1st, 1973, off the coast of Puerto Rico, a helicopter scanned the seas for a plane that had crashed the night before. The airplane carried 5 passengers on their way to extend aid to earthquake-stricken Nicaragua. The Puerto Rican people joined in the search because one of their true heroes was on that plane. His name was Roberto Clemente, and they would never see him again. 3 months later, at Cooperstown, New York, Roberto Clemente was inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame. The rule that a player is not eligible until 5 years after his last active year was waived. Roberto's wife was there to accept the honor.
I want to thank the Commission of Baseball, the members of the Hall of Fame, the baseball writers, the Pittsburgh Pirates Association, and all the people who made this event possible. This is Roberto's last trial, and if he were here, he would dedicate to our people of Puerto Rico, our people in Pittsburgh, and to all his fans throughout the United States. Thank you.
After 2 years with the Crabbers, the Brooklyn Dodgers signed Roberto, but he finally ended up with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I met Roberto Clemente the spring of 1962 in Fort Myers, Florida, where we were training. And I can still recall I was very excited, very nervous about meeting a man that certainly everyone in the world of baseball had knew about. And now I was in a position to be training and hopefully win a position on the ball club so that I'll be playing in the outfield with one of the all-time greats.
So you went with the Pirates in 1960 when they played the World Series against the Yankees?
No, I was not with the team, but I was in the organization.
Game 1 of the 1960 World Series, Forbes Field, Pittsburgh. First inning, the Yankees lead 1-0, and Dick Groat stands in. Groat, right-handed batter, will spray the ball around. Dittmer into the windup of the pitch, and Groat lines the ball into right field. Bill Verdon will score easily from third base as Groat goes around into second and tie the ball game at 1-1. Art Dittmer, the Yankee pitcher, in a little bit of trouble, now ready to face Bob Skinner. Here's a root ball into right center field. It drops in for a base hit. Groat should score from second easily. He does, and the Pirates lead 2-1. Now Roberto Clemente. The dangerous Clemente. He's ready to go. The pitch swing on a base hit up the middle. Rips it through the middle, and Skinner should get around to score from second, and the Pirates lead by a score of 3-1.
The Pirates won Game 1, 6-4. Eventually, the series was tied at 3 games apiece when the teams met in Pittsburgh for the 7th game.
Bill Verdon, the batter. Verdon waiting, hits a smash at Kubek, the shortstop. Bad hop. Flattens Kubek. Hits him in the neck here in the 8th inning with the score 7-4 New York. Kubek is injured as Verdon's shot came up, took a bad hop, and really flattened him. Here's Groat at the plate now. waiting for Grote, and he hits a smash past the third baseman out into left field. Somoli coming around third, should score and does, and it's now 7-5 New York. That'll bring up Clemente as the Pirates are trying to turn the ball game around. And Clemente chops the ball down the right side. It'll go as a base hit, and Bergen will score, and we have a one-run ball game, 7-6. Now Hal Smith hits a towering high fly ball to deep left field. It's out of here. A 3-run homer by Hal Smith, and the Pirates have literally turned it around. The Pirates jump into the lead 9-7 on a 3-run homer by Hal Smith.
The Yankees scored 2 runs in the top of the 9th inning to tie the score 9-9. To open the Pirates' 9th, Bill Mazeroski was the batter.
There's a long drive to deep left field. It's got a chance. Way back. It's gone. A home run by Bill Mazeroski. And the Pirates win the ball game 10-9 and win the World Series 4-3.
Willie, what was it like to be teammates with Roberto Clemente?
George, now that I think about it, I see so much. I see dramatics, I see comedy, I see excitement. He was very sincere about playing the game of baseball. He took an awful lot of pride in perfecting all the ins and outs of everything that, I mean, every minute detail he was concerned about. Played baseball, he was doing it, and he was being very honest and very sincere about it, and as a result of that, I think that had a lot to do with how the press took to him. Roberto, he felt if someone asked him how he felt, he was being honest with them, and he would tell them that his back or his leg or whatever was bothering him, and they felt that he was complaining all the time, but in all reality, he was being very sincere about how he felt. But even more so, he went out and played with the problems that he had. He clearly indicated that he had problems, but he did not ever say that, hey, I don't want to play.
Tell me about his hitting, Willie.
He liked to use foul line to foul line. If a guy was throwing exceptionally hard, he wouldn't try and pull him. He would hit the ball where it's pitched and could hit it as hard as anyone to the opposite field. And when he pulled the ball, he could pull it and hit it as far as anyone. That's what kind of hitter Roberto was. You know, George, when you talk about Roberto and his hitting exploits, a lot of people really didn't get a chance to see him until 1971 World Series.
How did he play in the World Series against the Orioles?
George, that was Roberto's moment of glory, because the entire world watched the 1971 World Series.
It was the Pirates versus the Orioles. The series opened at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium, where some 53,000 fans turned out. When Roberto Clemente lined this double off the right field wall in the first inning, he gave the crowd a hint as to how he would perform the remainder of the series. The Orioles, however, won games 1 and 2 with 3 of their players leading the way. Frank Robertson went 5 for 8, including a home run over the left field wall. Merv Redeman collected 4 RBIs, 3 of them on this homer to left center. Don Buford also connected for a home run. Even after the Pirates' second straight loss, they were still confident that they could get back into the series.
We felt that we were in a position to compete, and Roberto kept telling us that he would make sure that we won the World Series.
Upon the Pirates' return to Three Rivers Stadium, Clemente proceeded to honor his promise. He led them to victory in Game 3, Game 4, and Game 5. Clemente continued his brilliance in Game 6, hitting and running the bases with his customary flair. Despite Clemente's performance, the Orioles knotted the series by winning Game 6, 3-2. After 6 games, Roberto's average was .478. In Game 7, he proved he wasn't through just yet.
No score here in the 4th inning. Left-hander Mike Cuellar of the Orioles getting ready to go. Roberto Clemente stands in. Cuellar ready in the pitch, and Clemente gets a good charge on the ball. Deep left center field. It might make the crease, and it does. Home run, Roberto. And the Pirates jump into the lead here in Game 7, 1-0.
In the 9th inning, with the Pirates leading 2-1, the Orioles' Merv Redeman grounded to shortstop Jackie Hernandez, who made the series final out with his fine play. The Pirates, led by Clemente's MVP performance, had won the World Series.
Such energies that he didn't like to be reminded if he did make a mistake, which was something that he seldom did, but when he did...
What's it his?
Yeah, this looks gorgeous. Just set this here. He did everything. He was running, he was catching, fielding. He was doing everything.
You remember Clemente during the celebration?
Well, I know there was champagne flowing in the clubhouse. Some was drinking it, some was pouring it. But I know there was a lot of tears shedded. And everybody was just so happy for Roberto.
When it means a big game, Clemente's going to be the star of the game. I don't care what ball club, what all-star club, or what. Clemente's going to be the star.
It was very worthwhile, very rewarding. And it meant an awful lot to all of us.
Sure.
Especially him.
I guess the next year, the great thing was the 3,000th hit, wasn't it?
Well, that meant an awful lot to Robbie. He knew that there wasn't that many people getting 3,000 hits or had gotten it. And he certainly wanted to be one of them because he felt that he could play the game as well as anyone, and he could.
He almost got the big hit against Tom Seaver, didn't he, in the New York Mets?
Sure did. Yeah, he had 2,999 hits, and he hit the ball up the middle, and it went off the second baseman's glove. And right away they flashed the hit, and everybody just went berserk.
Roberto Clemente gets his 3,000th hit off Tom Seaver. A big moment for Clemente and the Pirates, the 11th man to join the 3,000 hit club, Roberto Clemente. Wait a minute, it's an error. They ruled an error.
That really angered Roberto, and after the game, it was obvious that he was terribly disturbed.
Was it a hit in your mind?
Well, it could have been a hit, either one or the other. And I don't think he would have felt good about it, being that it would have been a controversial 3,000 hit. So the next night, well, he struck out the first time up. And I remember we were standing on the on-deck circle, and I said, now you're going to get it now. You always talk about confidence. Go get it.
So Roberto Clemente, still looking for the elusive 3,000 hit, will come up now to face the tough Mets left-hander, John Matlack. Matlack ready with the first pitch to Roberto, and it's low and away for a ball. Clemente thought he had number 3,000 nailed down. He's still looking for it. Here's another pitch missing, ball 2, and he gets ahead in the count. 2-0 facing Matlack. Clemente looking for number 3,000. Matlack ready into his graceful windup. The pitch is a fastball on the corner for a strike. 2 balls and a strike. Matlack facing Roberto Clemente. Matlack ready to go. Looks in for the sign. And the pitch. Fastball is swung on and missed by Clemente. And the count goes 2-2. I think he'd like to have that swing over again. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Roberto Clemente. Here's the pitch and a shot into the gap in left center. This will be in for a base hit. Maybe extra bases. No question about this one. A double for Clemente. His 3,000th hit. And the ballpark just goes wild as Roberto Clemente becomes the 11th man in baseball history to collect 3,000 base hits.
I saw a certain glow in his eye that I'd never seen before. And it was almost like, well, I was put here to accomplish this one particular thing, because I think what he was doing it for, there's never been a Latin to make that achievement, and he was telling the Latin world that their accomplishment can be made. There is an avenue to success.
I don't think I had never done this, what I had done in baseball, if that wasn't for defense. If that wasn't for the love that I have for the Puerto Rican people and for the love that I have for the Pittsburgh fan, we would never make it, never.
That 3,000 hit was Roberto's last hit ever.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that was his final hit, his 3,000 hit. We were in the final days of the season, and from then on he was rested. It was almost like, well, he was put here for the purpose of making a certain accomplishment, and this is exactly what he did. He got his 3,000th hit, and the unfortunate thing happened, and that was New Year's Eve. I was having a party at home, and I got a phone call. The operator said that I had an emergency call, and would I accept? And I said yes, and some person I don't know to this day who it was said that Roberto Clemente has been killed. And I said, look, this is a hell of a joke to play on someone. I said, no, turn on your radios. It's all over the radios. Well, I had Clemente's home number. I just wanted to certainly call, and I knew it was an odd time to call, but something that important I felt deserved a phone call, and I was hoping that he would pick up the phone and tell me how stupid it was to call him that time of morning. Unfortunately, they said that the plane that went down, and they were searching for him, and hopefully they would find him. And this was the damnedest shock that I'd ever experienced, because it was just a real empty feeling, knowing that we would never see him again.
After Roberto Clemente's accidental death, his number, 21, familiar to so many fans, those close to Roberto had to be reminded of the eloquent words spoken 4 months earlier at his funeral service.
Oh God, we have gathered here to commemorate Roberto el Magnifico, one of your children who was so very much alive while he was with us. We remember his vitality, his grace, his agility, his exuberance on the playing field, where he was so thrilling to watch. You chose to bring to a close his life as he attempted to help others to live. We ask that his memory will continue to enliven us in showing proper respect for the precious gift of life in ourselves and our fellow man